Our next speaker is Dora Leland, teacher at Horseheads Middle School and union president.
How are we? So before I speak, why don't we start with a chant? So much that was spoken today talked about unjust policies and unjust laws. So when I say if a law is unjust, we must protest. If a policy is unjust,
we must protest.
If a law is unjust,
we must protest.
If policies are unjust,
we must protest.
If the governor's actions are unjust,
we must protest.
And we must continue to protest. So, like Doug said, my name is Dora Leland. I am an activist. I'm a lifelong educator. I'm a unionist, and I'm also a mom of 2 daughters. And I come here today as a lifelong educator, and I gotta share this. I'm standing in the crowd earlier, and as you can see up here, I'm shivering because it's cold out here. But 2 days ago, I'm sitting in my classroom, and it's 88 degrees, and I've been teaching for 28 years. I cannot recall a hotter opening week than the one we had this week. And for the first time ever, NYSUT, the New York State United Teachers, is actually lobbying and pushing for heat days. Because we know when students are in school and it is so hot, they can't learn. They can't function. So I also speak to you today as a committed unionist. And oftentimes, we think that unions and the environment are on opposite sides. We think that they are in opposition because we want jobs at any cost. Well, that's a fallacy. That is just not true. Unions, by their very definition, are charged with protecting their members and the community in which they live. There's a great quote by an SEIU leader, that's the Service Employees International Union, and she says, "Climate change at a time of increasing economic inequality is a toxic combination for most Americans. We can create good jobs in wind, solar, and renewable energy that move us to a healthier future and a more just society. And that time is now." So I'm encouraged, partly by the governor's Climate and Jobs Initiative, the partnership with our own Cornell's Worker Institute and the ILR School, and also the Climate Jobs New York, and they're going to create 40,000 clean energy jobs by 2020. I find that encouraging. I am encouraged by the $1.5 billion that's going to be invested in creating clean climate careers. I'm encouraged that finally the working people and unions are positioned to lead the charge to tackle climate change. Certainly a step in the right direction. But while I'm encouraged by the governor's policies making New York a clean energy leader, I urge him to go further. It's not enough. If New York is truly going to be a clean energy leader, then solar energy must be fully supported and invested in. So the governor's policy, his public service committee, his commission, their decision to replace the net metering with this complex and highly flawed formula, I can barely even say it correctly. The value of distributed energy resources. It's done the exact opposite. It's actually discouraged businesses from investing here because profits are not certain. This is a lost opportunity. It's a lost opportunity for jobs, for clean energy, but also for the future growth of a clean energy source, that being solar. I know that we can do more. It's time that we abandon the notion that it's either jobs or the environment. It's time to abandon the notion that it's either the economy or the planet. It's time to abandon the notion that we have to start pushing for both. We can have well-paying union jobs that also save the environment. We can have a thriving economy without polluting our air, our water, or our land. I call on all of you to stand together and demand more. Demand stricter regulations on pollution. Demand increased funding for training and sustainable jobs. Demand that Governor Cuomo fully commit to combating the shameful and harmful rollbacks of climate and clean air programs that are being instituted at the federal level. Demand that the governor fully support solar energy in New York State by getting rid of policies that discourage the investment. Demand that our planet no longer be taken for granted. But most of all, demand that your voice be heard. Now, we've been told elections have consequences. We're feeling those consequences now. When we have a leader that stands up and says that climate change is a hoax created by the Chinese, that's a consequence. There's voter registration. It is time for us to take our country, our environment, and our planet back. And I stand with you. Thank you. Are we ready for another chant? Yeah. Now we're going to let me get down from here. All right, let's see what I got. How about, oh, I like this one. Do you all know the Queen song, We Will Rock You? All right, so when we have bad policies, what are we going to tell the president, the congressman, and the governor? Come on, don't make me sing. We will rock you. We will rock you. You got to get someone up here that can sing. All right, so one more. This one you don't have to sing. This one is get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground. Get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground. Get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground. Thank you for your patience.